Hey dreamers, my name is Sophie, aka TΑM, French with a Vietnamese background. Welcome to the TＡM Show, where courage is key. By watching the interviews, you will learn what school doesn't teach you. I show you all the actual hard and real in-between process that shape it brave, inspiring entrepreneurs. You will know what to do to start and accomplish your idea or project. Get ready, guys. Hi everyone, welcome back to the TAM Show for a new episode. So today we are meeting the three lovely owners of the Our House. Our House is a safe place for people and rescues. By sustaining itself through responsible and conscious dining and drinking, Our House stands as the opportunity that rescue dogs need to be socialized, unafraid of human affection and ready for adoption. This is an eclectic home. R stands for rescues, respect, reinvention, recreation, relaxation, and respite. Now follow me. Hey everyone, welcome back to the TAM Show for a new episode. So today we are surrounded by the three lovely owners of the Our House. So happy to be with them today. So we have Alex.
Hi. From
America, Geneva from the Philippines, and Thien, Vietnamese.
Xin chào.
So I'm very curious about their project because it's a restaurant, dining place, drinking place, but also a rescue place where they have dogs and so many dogs, and I have never experienced that actually, so I would like to know more about the story and why do they do that. Hello guys, so how are you today?
Doing well, and we're happy to be able to share a little bit about our mission and the work that we do at Our House, and hopefully
inspire.
Inspire some people and also raise awareness about the causes that we work towards.
Yes. And you, Geneva, how do you feel?
I'm good. You know, when you're surrounded by 4 babies here and then you go there and you're surrounded by 9 more babies, it's like therapy. So, you know, very, very good.
And for me, I'm feeling very good right now. I actually just posted a photo on my Facebook and I said, can I just live at Our House? Because it is just like a lovely space, and every time I come there I feel very, relieved and refreshed and recharged. Lots of R's. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. How did you guys meet? So Geneva and Alex are together, they are a couple, so I think it's really beautiful to work together, but it means that it takes a lot or so, and we will see that after. But how did you guys meet Thien, Vietnamese local, that is also passionate about dogs? How did you find a perfect match to work together?
Okay, let me answer this. Okay, I met Geneva 5 years ago when we were together in a Broadway musical theater camp in Thailand, 2015. And I believe I was the first friend that you talked to during the program. And so we spent 2 weeks together singing, dancing, and acting.
Wow.
And then like 2 years later, they came to Vietnam and we met. And then the next year I came to Manila and then we met again. And they moved to Vietnam last year to live and to work, and that's how we actually.
Wow, so you are able guys to sing?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
They are able to sing. Not all
Yeah.
And Geneva and I met about 4 years ago. I was living in the Philippines for almost 4 years, starting in 2015, and we met in 2016 and have been dating almost 4 years, and then we moved to Vietnam in early 2019. So we had been here many times. We had met Thien here many times, and we decided that along with my other job opportunity that it would be an awesome chance to switch things up and have a new journey. And we knew that there's also different kinds of entrepreneurship opportunities in Vietnam, which weren't as accessible as in the Philippines.
Amazing. So you had to move here to build your business.
We didn't exactly know about the business at the time when we moved, but we had some ideas about doing something with purpose, doing something that we were passionate about and that felt like we were making an impact.
Yeah. So I think that you all want to make an impact, and that's why you are here.
That's right.
making the air house. So I would like to know what is the purpose behind that? Why did you build this amazing project in Vietnam? How did you dare to build that kind of project? Because there's also a bit of a culture difference between how Western people treat the animals and how Vietnamese treat the animals, and Asian in general. So can you
Maybe
say something about that?
you would say it, and I would just translate
Yes.
the audience.
Okay.
Basically, what happened was that when we arrived in Vietnam, I immediately went to the shelter with Alex and dragged him along with one of our other Filipino best friends who lives here. And I saw that, they were a local shelter. We had a hard time communicating, but the dogs were quality, like taken care of. They have hours to socialize. And then we realized, that's such a great thing to support. There are certain things that the Westerners feel is done wrong by the Vietnamese. But I think at the end of the day, as long as the dog is happy, sorry.
Tom.
Is that okay?
Let's just bring him out real quick.
Yes.
Let's just get them settled down.
Yeah. Woo. Oh, now we have dogs.
And we can just do a side note that,
Yeah.
now people really know what we're about. Now there's no question. Knox, sit down.
Yeah, Kiko's already settled.
Okay. Sit down.
Okay.
Wow, so beautiful. So they couldn't wait to be with us again, so we just told them to come.
Sometimes they're very camera shy, and other times they want to be the main part of the show.
Yeah.
So here they are, 4 of our dogs, and we have 1 German Shepherd who's off screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know what is the purpose behind the Our House project, which is a very original project here in Vietnam, due to the culture difference that we can have Western people, the way they treat the animals and dogs, and how Vietnamese people do treat them. So could you say a bit about that?
So, sorry, I'm just letting him play with my hair tie. The purpose of our house is really for it to be an opportunity for the shelter's dogs who are ready for a home. There are 2 different kinds of rescue dogs. One that is newly rescued, and they don't know how to trust yet. They're still getting medicated, and some of them, they've been treated in a really bad way. But there are also already dogs like Knox or Tom or Rambo who have been at the shelter for years. And they already are ready for homes. It's just that they don't have the audience. So one day, because of our relationship, we know for a fact that we want to do something meaningful. And so we just kind of proposed, why don't we do a little cafe where people can meet the dogs and see them in their natural setting. Yes, I know you love it. You love what we're saying.
They're very affectionate, especially at our house.
So that was the root reason why we started it. And then we realized that if you just add the things that you love, people will understand where you're coming from and how authentic your place is.
So when we went to the shelter, we saw a lot of opportunity, but unfortunately when you go to the shelter, it's 50 or 60 dogs all at once. It's super hot. They all come out of their cages. They may pee or poop, and bark, and unless you're super, super comfortable with dogs, it's a lot to handle. And even if you are comfortable, it's still a lot to handle. So we wanted to design a space where people could interact in a very casual way with dogs in their mostly natural kind of habitat or their natural kind of demeanor. So just like you saw Tom kissing Geneva non-stop, that's how he is all the time. He's very friendly, he's very nice, but if you were to visit him at the shelter in the 40-degree heat in a cage with 30 other dogs, he probably wouldn't act like that. So our house provides a space for people to get an authentic interaction with the dogs, and that really furthers the goal of the shelters, which is to rehabilitate and have the dogs adopted out to forever families.
Yeah. For the record, the little dogs that we had met from the shelter since April of last year have now all been successfully adopted out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So our first batch have all come to our house, interacted with our customers, and then been adopted out. So that's something that we're really proud of, especially with all the things that have happened over the past 8 months in the world, and to be able to make a small difference in people's lives and the lives of the dogs is really important to us.
And have you always had this attachment for dogs? When did you know that you wanted to do something purposeful toward the animals and not something else?
Sure. Growing up, I actually didn't have dogs, and every single birthday for as long as I can remember, I asked my parents for a dog. They never gave me one until I went away to college, and my parents both got dogs. My brother got 3 dogs, and then they asked me to train all their dogs for them. So I've always grown up loving animals and dogs and being able to train them and create a good bond with them. And it wasn't an immediate idea of ours when we came to Vietnam. It was really, we wanted a dog to be able to have as a companion and kind of starting a little bit of a family. And I was also traveling a lot for my job, so if I'm out of town for a week, it's nice for Geneva to have a dog at the house, a companion to keep her company. And Jen has always grown up with a dog for the most part as well.
I have a little Shih Tzu. He's 16 years old now, back in Manila. And, you know, the moment we got here, I told Alex, I can't not have a dog in my life. So that's why we went to the shelter.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, it was basically, it was almost like fate or an accident that we ran across this situation in which there is something that we can do about it. You know, it was just that, like, it's not about really your love. I mean, you can love like something, but you can't exactly help in a certain situation. But here, we saw a big opportunity to be able to help the local shelters and get them the exposure they get the same way that the Western shelters here or rescue groups could do.
And as you can see, certain dogs get a lot of love and also give a lot of love.
Wow, yes, a lot.
Tom, try to get to a little more of a steady. I'll hold him here so that he doesn't act up the whole time. Sorry about your outfit. So to the point of a difference in how dogs are handled and seen in different cultures. Jen really grew up with her dog as like the little brother in her family. So when her mom talks to her about the dog, she says, "Have you fed your little brother yet? Do you know where your little brother is?" And so that's a really good demonstration of dogs are really like family. And when we consider adopting dogs out of our house, we really are only willing to adopt dogs out to, and the shelters are only willing to adopt dogs out to people who see them as really family members, who wouldn't be abandoned if they were to leave Vietnam, whether they're foreign or local. And this is also something when we moved into our neighborhood, having 4 larger dogs. The way we communicated that is that these are not dogs for protection or security, they're dogs that are our family. And that was something that at first people were scared of a German Shepherd that's 35 kilos, and then they realized that that's the favorite dog of all of the kids in the neighborhood, and the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 10-year-olds want to come over and hang out with our dogs, and they love our dogs because they realize that they can be really sweet and well behaved if they're treated the right way.
So you have always been surrounded by dogs and you have been used to that since young.
Yeah, so it's kind of a natural thing for us.
Yes.
So Thien here is telling the story of one of the dogs at our house that has been abandoned by his owner. And on the street, he has been beaten up by some random people and has lost one eye and became blind. Our house fostered the dog, and the dog was open and gave his trust again to a human being, even though he has been tortured and traumatized by another human being. We have a big life lesson here, guys. How long would it take to give your trust again to someone who has hurt you or tortured you? How long? Dogs just love unconditionally, even after being traumatized. You may want to reflect on that. I was getting so emotional here.
It was a very...
It's crazy how animals can trust again humans even after a traumatizing past.
And how they manage,
that's what we need to learn also as humans, because we have so much anger, so much resentment, like emotions.
Yeah.
And they are so just loving even.
Yeah. That is
That's-
the magic.
Yeah.
And they
it's
manage to
crazy,
teach us a lot about
Yeah.
life and how to go through a tough time as well, especially like the past couple of months.
Yes.
Sure. And the other thing is that a lot of the dogs at our house, they don't look like this when they are rescued. They are they have no fur, they have scabs and wounds all over them. They don't have any color in their fur because they don't have nutrition. And so those are usually the kind of dogs that you would see on the street and think that is a hopeless case. Tom, he's too sweet. You would think that they would be a hopeless case almost because they look so messed up. But the reality is that if you put the time and the effort and the love into taking care of the dogs, they can have this kind of transformation where they become, a beautiful being again.
Okay, I'm here.
Looks like he's found a favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, there's the shelters do the rescuing part, and that's why we wanted to assist them, because like from going to Moine or like the provinces or where was the one where the puppies were rescued?
Bình Thuận.
Bintuang. The shelters, the locals. These are locals, and I'm so proud of that. The Vietnamese shelters go through all kinds of things to just rescue a dog. This one, Miss Thuy, she jumped into the canal because he was running away from her. He was running away from any human who tried to touch him. And you see him now; he's very sweet.
So they had to
she
try
had to
3
jump
or
into the
4
canal.
times to actually catch him so that they could help him. He was so scared of having contact.
Yeah.
And now you see that he is
Beautiful
wanting nothing
transformation.
but more contact. So that's the kind of transformation that you can see, and that's the kind of transformation that we want people to see, and that we can help bring visibility to via our house, and we can share the stories. Our team at our house knows about all these stories, and they also can share it with the customers. And the customers can see it themselves, because some of the dogs, they arrive, and if you come every month or every week, you'll see what a difference that and a transformation that the dogs have, even in just being in a safe space for a month or 2 months.
Yeah.
And so that's really the kind of story that we want to be able to share, is that we have a business that has awesome food, has craft beer, has wine, we do live music, we do events, we do parties, but the purpose of the business is for the dogs, and the purpose is to help give these dogs a better life and a better home, and to educate people in the process.
Yeah.
And how does it work if someone wants to adopt a dog? Through what process it has to go through, and how does it work to
Okay. So when we went to the shelter, I guess it was just a connection between us and the shelter owner, Mimi, that she just, allowed us to adopt Knox without any form. But that's something that we wanted to change, because that's why we put up an organization that is linked to the business Perfect Match, because we want people to first fill out the application form so that we can see, like, do they have the kind of residence that the dog would be a match for. So that's why, like, for a border collie, you're gonna have to have a big yard or access to a park. Whereas a dog like Luxie is like, if an applicant is saying, oh, I can hire a dog walker for him, it's like, Luxie is blind and small, he doesn't really need to walk, he needs love. So that's why we're ensuring that there are certain processes, and we ask people to give the adoption fee to continue helping the shelters. Like 100% of that goes to the shelters.
But how do you make sure that the person is a good person? Do you have any trouble with that, or it's all okay?
The form usually really helps. So the adoption form shows us, like, how do you see the dog? And they'll say either it's a guard dog, then that makes us worried already.
And the survey is very extensive. It's like 50 questions. And some people, they get the survey and they say, I don't have time to fill this out.
Yeah, so you already filter from that.
That is the perfect thing for you to say, because we do not need to take care of a dog. We are still figuring out every now and then. We've been doing this for about a year with the adoption. We're still figuring out what we need to add, and how do we make sure that we're really doing the best job we can in vetting the applicants. But for the most part, 90-95% of the applicants have been awesome, super loving parents and families who the dog has really transformed their lives.
It also really helps to meet them in person. Like, either through Perfect Match, they go directly to the shelter. But for our house, like, we meet each and everyone who adopts, and we see, like, oh, there is a connection. And then that,
And we also go to their homes, so we see.
So you go right to
we go to their
check
homes, we
to
see the space they're living in. If they're going to adopt, we'll bring the dog over there.
That's
see
like
how
a
the
rule.
setup is. And if we feel comfortable, then we do a trial week. And if we don't feel comfortable, then that's a discussion that we have to have and say that this, based on our experience, we don't feel comfortable with this at this point.
Where do you guys see Air House from 5 years from now?
Okay. So for me, I was proposing this to Alex. It's like, and a startup mentor of mine also mentioned, like, you have to watch out for, one is like, how much waste do you produce, and how do you ensure that it doesn't do damage to the planet. Another is replicability. Will we be able to do this in another city, another country? And in 5 years, I do see that there can be an R house in every hot spot where
Our house Hanoi.
or Dalat. There are always dogs in need, and there are always people wanting to find that unconditional love and connection. So 5 years from now, hopefully it's like 3 more branches.
Wow, 3 more. Da Nang, Hanoi.
Yeah, so we this is not a challenge that is unique to Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon. It's something that is prevalent throughout a lot of cities in Asia and cities around the world, really. There's a need for this kind of model in the US as well. And some areas are easier to implement than others because of restrictions and compliance and things like that. And the thing that Geneva mentioned about the sustainability and the waste is also very important to us. So in addition to the mission with the dogs and the offerings of food and drink and events that we do, we have a big focus on sustainability, and we do as many things as we can and continue to grow the sustainability efforts of our house, which comes down to the plastic consumption, the way that we dispose of waste, composting, doing bokashi, which is another way of fermenting waste in a way that it can be reused as fertilizer. And we also look at what other businesses in the local community can we support. So how can we support local? And then also, how can we work with other organizations that are doing something positive for the planet and for the community? So a lot of our mission also is educating our staff, educating our customers about why do we serve our drinks in glass bottles to go. We want people to reuse those, and we charge people for that because we're charging the planet when we are using single-use plastics, and that's a huge problem in Vietnam, in China, in Philippines, Indonesia, in Asia in general. And it's that's another mission of ours at our house, of kind of rescuing the planet and looking at responsible use of materials, recycling, repurposing things, so that it's not just something that we're doing mindlessly.
So if you come to our house, you will see a lot of repurposed furniture and
I
bamboo
know
straws,
and I
and
see that it's all like recycled or handmade or like very authentic finds. So that's what we are looking for. So we will close the interview with whatever is in your heart. If you want to spread any message or anything that you want to say to the viewers to inspire them, anything.
Alex.
Okay, I can begin. So we're excited to share the story of our house and the work that we're doing for a variety of reasons. But one of the main ones is that we feel that in this day and age, people really do have the opportunity to go after something that might seem bizarre, it might seem a little bit off the rails for some people, but actually you'll realize that there are missions which people are drawn to in all different kinds of categories. And what we thought was a little bit of a crazy idea, it truly is a little bit of a wild idea. But it has resonated with so many people, and the support that we get from the community and the different areas that we touch are really making an impact. And to be able to see that and to go after something in a new country as first-time business owners, not just doing F&B, but doing F&B with dog rescue and sustainability and supporting the local. This is something that we're very passionate about, and we feel that the model of focusing business on localized economies and on making an impact, doing a business with purpose is something which a lot of people can get behind, and it's something that people want to support. So when we have a kind of social entrepreneurship model, a social enterprise model, we feel that that can survive tougher times. It can get support when other businesses can't get support, because it's more than just the awesome food or the nice vibe of the restaurant or the 10 beers that we have on draft, but it's actually a business with a purpose. And so we want to be able to share that, and we want to be able to inspire people by that as well.
Yeah. And you watch Geneva?
For me, people are going to tell you no. I think just when you have an idea, there will be a time where but what about this? But what about that? But all you need is a core support group that will strengthen that proposal and turning it into something that makes a difference. We are very proud to say that it has made a difference in 10 dogs' lives, plus the fosters learning to love also. So, I think what I want to say is that people can tell you, no, it's not going to work, But if you believe in yourself and you're ready to deal with every hurdle that comes, and you are agile, you're able to move with the flow. As Alex said, we didn't have a plan. We just started it,
just
right?
started, right? That's the way.
That's
you don't need to
the
be ready.
only- yes.
Just start and then just adjust in the way.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, you will not be ready because you will always have your fears with you. And so your fears will tell you, okay, no, don't do this now. Not yet, not yet, not yet. And then you're 40
realize, yeah.
and you see that you didn't do anything or you are
Yeah.
frustrated. So you
Yeah.
need to just
Really,
take the courage on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the bravery,
Yeah.
despite, it's not about having no fear.
Yeah.
Courage
No,
is
of
about
course, you go
doing
with
it.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course. Yeah.
And there's never really going to be the perfect time.
No.
And so if you have a vision and a passion and the determination to keep up with something, that can make all the difference.
Yes.
Because there's always going to be bumps in the road. There's a lot of bumps in the road even despite a global pandemic. But adding that on top of things, who would have expected that? But it happened. People have to find a way to get through. And it's the kind of thing that you can think about it as much as you want. You can plan for as many things as you can think of, and you're never going to be able to plan for everything. So you have to be able to go with the flow and push through.
Sure.
A little more on that. Like, I think the important to say that you start before you're ready. Yeah. And also I want to share some of my favorite quotes, some from my favorite movie, which is people love what other people are passionate about.
I love this one.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
that is so true.
yeah.
Yes.
So and there will be ways for you
Yes.
to do what you love
Totally.
and get supported by your surroundings.
Yes.
And there will be way that you can make impact through doing what you love, and that's what we have seen from the past couple of months when we did it at our house. And so for me, I quit my full-time job so that I can spend some more time at our house. It was a bit crazy during the past period because of the whole pandemic thing, and quitting a full-time might not be a very good thing to do, but I did it anyway. But the past couple of months have been so magical and so fulfilling, more than the past 3 years of work.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so what we want to say, just when you find something if you didn't find what you love, you keep looking for
Keep
it
looking.
and do what you love, and
Yes.
someday what you love will make an impact, and you can really live with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really inspiring what you say, guys. I think the whole main message is really to just do it, even you're afraid, because we only have one life, right? So
And
why not just doing something that we love?
Yeah, we never have the promise of the future.
We don't have the promise of tomorrow, right? That's so right. So guys, I would just encourage you to just throw yourself out there and do it anyway with the fears, because you will never be ready. There's no readiness,
You gotta start
because you
before
will
you're
be
ready.
always scared, because people will influence you in a negative way or positive way, but a lot in a negative way also, and you need to be able, and you need to be brave enough to go through all the hustles by yourself and with a core support as Geneva said. So I'm really happy to have this conversation with you guys, and now we move to the location and we'll see the place
other
with all the
dogs.
dogs. Yes.
Let's go check out the house.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Cảm ơn mọi người.
Thank you guys for watching this interview. We are excited to offer you 10% discount on your full bill for all of July by saying the code word "House" to the waiters. The dogs are waiting for you, and the amazing meals too. We can't wait to see you there. Bye guys.